Why most of the solopreneurs are suffering with burnout? It's because a lot of solopreneurs, they get stuck on the culture of hustle and grinding, right? We have been taught that in order to be successful in your online business or whatever goal you want to achieve is you need to be hustle and grinding. You need to work so hard until you get the breakthrough, right? And it's not that working hard doesn't create result, but it's not the main thing. How many of you guys have been working so hard but you don't get result, right? How many people has been working so hard but still suffering, right? So it's not the hustle and grind. And the reason we keep on hustle and grinding because it becomes a norm, right? And it has nothing to do with working hard. It's working efficiently. It's from the state where you are working from, right? Think about it. If you are working hard out of fear because you want to achieve something, then what happens then is you will be always intense. You will be always expecting result. So you are chasing a certain goal, and hence the word chasing. If you chase, you drive them away, right? So it's because we are stuck on that fear culture, hustle and grinding. And what is fear actually? Why is that so dominant in our life? Fear is a default emotion that's been with us as a survival mode. It's a survival thing, right? If it is in order for us to protect ourselves, but we are not living on a survival world anymore. We have tap water, we have house, we have everything that we need. You can even order food just from your phone. Everything is inconvenience. But if everything is inconvenience and then you are operating from a survival mode, then there's a misalignment, right? And what does fear means? Fear means former experience acting as reality. And how was it developed? It was developed since our childhood, right? We have never processed fear. Fear has always been stuck. It became our identity in the subconscious level. And fear has been programmed to us since we were child, because when you were a child until 7 years old, our brain is actually soaking informations. It keeps on absorbing information as much as possible, right? And you can see that if you have a kid, watch, they absorb all information. And the problem is in our surroundings, in our environment, in television, in social media, in the school, it's all about fear. If you don't achieve this, you will be a failure. It makes you fearful. If your parents get pissed off at you, if you do this, this is what will happen. It's all about fear. And this fear has been embedded into us, programmed into us, and has never been processed. Another thing is, if you did something and you have failed because of that culture, you will think in your subconscious level that you have failed, right? Think about of an experience. For example, a friend of mine, he actually ate in the Philippines we have this milkfish, and milkfish is a fish with a lot of bones, and he ate that and suddenly he choked. Since then, he stopped eating it simply because of that experience. That experience has never been processed. It could have been prevented if you just properly eat it consciously, taking all off all the bones, and you can have just actually overcome that fear. But from now on, he never eats milkfish anymore, and then he've never processed it, and it's a very healthy and tasty food. And just because of that experience, he missed a lot of those nice experience of eating a delicious milkfish just because it was never been processed. And that happens with many things. And once you are operated with fear, what happens is you start keep on worrying about everything. And if you as a solopreneur and then you start taking action and you always been worried, you always been tense, but the problem is you're not aware of it. You're operating from fear. Fear is your driver, right? And what happens is, generally speaking, when you operate from fear, all what you see are the negative things. Meaning, there's a saying, what glass of water can be half full or half empty, but we see things as half empty. Meaning, we focus on the things that we don't have. We focus on our goal which are not yet being achieved. And because we see things negatively, things that we don't have, there are millions of things that we don't have. We are constantly in pressure. We're constantly in resistance. We're constantly in tension. We're constantly in fear because we don't have that yet. And once you have something, then you will see another things what you don't have. And it's just a loop, right? And how do we solve that? How you stop worrying and how to operate not from fear, but from awareness. All you have to do is to step back. Don't operate from fear, operate from your awareness. Be aware of the fear, be aware of your emotion, be aware of your identity, be aware of your thoughts, and then you create a gap, and this emotion of fear will not be in charge anymore because you start operating from awareness. All you have to do is step back. And how do you stop worrying? Because you can say it's easy to not worry. I have problems to solve. Then focus first before you solve a problem. Focus first on what do you have. We never be thankful in life. We're never being thankful in life. We're not being thankful that our hands operate. Like we have two eyes to see. We have food to eat. We have roof above our head. Right? You have electricity. You have tap water. You know how many people doesn't have tap water? Right? There's so many things that we have, and then we have internet, you have phone, you have access to billions of people, you have social media for free you can use so that people can see you. All of those things you can utilize and use to solve a problem. But if you focus on the things that you don't have, and then you keep on complaining and you keep on chasing, then you will be operating from fear, and then your result will reflect from that, right? So instead, you don't need to work hard. All you need to do is work intentionally, in peace of mind. Be happy, operate from awareness, step back, be thankful for what you have so you don't get worried. Because there are many things that you have, but we never look into it, right? And this will calm you down. Then you will see you are abundant. You are not in scarcity. It's just a matter of perspective. It is the switch of perspective, the switch of the inner state, the switch of the driver, right? If you switch to the driver as an awareness, then you start operating in peace of mind and you become more creative, because if you're intense, your creativeness shuts down, right? Everything shuts down. But if you are in peace of mind, if you are happy, give it a try. If you're happy, then you become more creative, right? You can create content, you can talk to people, you can interact with people with a positive vibe. And that changes everything. Your relationship with people will change. How you see things will change. You will see an opportunity. If you're in a calm state and you see an opportunity that comes up to you, you grab it instead of being skeptical, right? If you operate from fear, everything is skeptical because you're in a guard mode. But if you're in peace of mind, if you're in a calm state, then you have that space to see, is this opportunity really worth it for me or not? Because it might be something that can be your breakthrough, but because you're operating from fear, you think you're skeptical, you just shut it down, and then you miss an opportunity. Because life will always give you an opportunity. If you are in a peace of mind, if you are operating from awareness, then you will see things differently. You will then see things as everything that is happening as half glass full of water. Meaning, there is no more problem, right? If you are afraid, example, here's the big difference. If you are fearful, operating from fear, everything you do is result. You're always expecting result. Why is this not working? You keep on tweaking stuff. You keep on um, being stressed, right? But if you operate from awareness, everything that you do, creating content, talking to people, sending emails, creating funnels, or creating an offer, whatever, everything is information. If you do that joyfully, then your performance will be more creative, will have more value because it's only about solving problems and you share people how to solve a certain problem, right? That's what actually what we do. That's what business is we do. That's how we interact with people. Value is based on the solution that you can give to people, right? So by being on an awareness state, you provide more value because you have this creativity and you are happy, right? And what happens if you take action, if you create content instead of worrying people judge you, because people will judge you anyway. This is the world of people of good and bad. There will always be people judging you. But if you focus on that and then you become worried and then you stop creating content, then you just get defeated. Unless if you are aware, if you are in awareness, every feedback that you get from the people is information. If somebody bashes you, you just be aware. Is it correct or he's just bashing so that he get attention? Or maybe that bash is something to do with something I can refine. So everything becomes information. Everything becomes a opportunity for you to become better. That's the difference. If you operate from emotion of fear, then you are defeated, right? Everything is bad. You cannot focus on a strategy. You cannot do your thing, enjoy, right? But if you operate from awareness, everything is information, everything is data. Nothing is a problem. Every problem becomes an opportunity for you to solve because every solution that you solve or every problem that you solve is a value, is a knowledge gain, and you can share that to people, right? So the more problem you solve, the more knowledge you gain, the more value you can provide. Simple as that. So it's not about hustling and grinding, it's intentionally working. You don't need to work 8 hours, you don't need to work 12 hours. You can just work 2 hours, 3 hours, focused, intentionally, with joy. Then results is even better. Give it a try, right? Example, if you go to buy some donuts outside, you get two stands, right? Think about it. One is stress selling. Hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, pushy. This is a good donut. Trying to be persuasive, right? People think that persuasion is skill. People think value is about persuasion, about selling stuff. And they've got another one who is joyfully selling a donut with fun, joking around. Same product, right? To whom are you going to buy? To this guy who is pushy or this guy who is happy, joyfully presenting the donut? You will see that this guy who is happy, joyful, becomes magnetic. The guy who's salesy, who is operating from pushing because they focus on selling, this one focus on happiness, joyful. People will go to this guy becomes magnetic, the other one becomes pushy. And that's the same thing. So this one can work as much hard as possible, but if you are magnetic, you don't need to work hard because people will work for you. People will come to you. People will refer you, right? Because you provide quality, you provide value out of joy, out of peace. So a lot of solopreneurs are struggling with hustle and grind, and that's why they feel burnt out. You don't need to feel burnt out. The opposite is you can feel excited. If you have peace of mind, if you operate from awareness, if you're grateful from what you have, be yourself. Don't let people judge. Don't care about what people will tell about you because you will be judged anyway. Just be happy to yourself. Everybody has a unique characteristics and enhance that, optimize it. And then you will see you don't need to be burnt out as a solopreneur. If you like this content, subscribe. And we also have a free community which is called Klariti. It's all about clarity. It's about shifting your operating system from a reactor mode to a creator mode, which is from a driver of awareness. And if you are interested, we have a free masterclass. I'll put it in the description and just join us and then I'll see you inside. All right. Peace.